Well, land use conflicts often arise in urban and in residential areas. However, they can also occur in rural communities due to the changed structure of ag operations, along with the emergence of new types of land use. Roger McEowen with the Washburn University School of Law joins us now to review how to deal with these certain conflicts. And Roger, as always, thanks for taking the time to chat with us today. First of all, how does the law handle the rural land use disputes?
Well, good morning, Janet. Good to be with you. Basically, the law kind of separates things out in terms of what is an acceptable use for a particular area. You see, a nuisance is an invasion of another person's interest in the use and enjoyment of their land. It's not an interference with the exclusive possession or ownership of the land. So what nuisance law does is prohibit land uses that unreasonably and substantially interfere with somebody else's quiet use and enjoyment of their property. So I can do whatever I want on my property. You can do whatever you want on your adjoining property, as long as it's reasonable for each of us, and neither of us are unreasonably interfering with the other party's right to use their property in a reasonable manner. So it's up to jury determination when we get into court on these things.
Well, it is something that we, of course, talk a lot about in ag news. How does it apply to an ag setting?
Well, in an ag setting, I think there are certain ways to minimize conflict. And I think this is the key point for listeners and viewers to keep in mind. You want to stay out of court on these things, so locate any livestock facility that could give rise to a nuisance claim in a key location. Try to keep it away from property borders. Related to that, particularly with respect to odor-related issues, is wind direction. So watch your wind direction for your confinement livestock facilities. Proper ventilation is the key. So is manure storage and field injection practices. And of course, I think the overall appearance of your farm structures is important. You want to cast a good light to the public and to your neighbors on what you're doing there. And I think that's perhaps almost as important as manure disposal practices are.
And what about those nuisance versus negligence? Are they the same?
No, they're not the same thing. You can operate a farm or a ranch properly. You can have all your necessary permits at the state and federal level, and you can still be a nuisance if a court or a jury determines that your activity is unreasonable and causes a substantial interference with another person's use and enjoyment of their property. So they're not the same thing at all.
All right, Roger, as always, thank you very much for your insight this morning. Again, Roger McEowen, he's with the Washburn University School of Law, joining us on the phone today from Topeka, Kansas.